So what are the stakes at this race? Well, it's not just about faster payments or cooler apps. Whoever builds the dominant digital infrastructure will be setting the rules of the global financial system. Of course, I'm a proud and patriotic American, and I want the US dollar to have a meaningful role in the digital world, but you don't have to be American to have similar interests. You just have to care about an open, competitive, and innovative financial system. And just a reminder, I do want to share with this crowd that I am on the board of Ripple, which also gives me a practitioner's lens into the world of virtual currencies and specifically facilitating cross-border payments with financial institutions, which is at the heart of XRP's application. And I'm very, very proud, again, that Ripple is focused on a one-stop shop for institutions to move, hold, and manage value.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. I wanted to start with that clip because the world does not yet realize how impactful this technology is. And I'm a big believer, as you guys know, that XRP is going to be smack bang in the middle of all of it. That was Rosie Rios, who is an impressive individual, to put it mildly. She, of course, has a background in property and specializes in economic development and real estate finance, primarily in the private sector. She then went on to become the 43rd treasurer under Barack Obama in 2009 to 2016. Now, that's quite a long term. The treasurer is a huge role which is responsible for overseeing part of the country's currency, coinage, and financial operations. Almost $1.8 trillion was printed with her name on it. I'll show you a clip of her acknowledging this when she talks about where she would be investing as somebody that has had an oversight of money towards the end of the video. Previous to that, she was an advisor to the 2008 Treasury Fed transition team during the 2008 financial crisis. And to present day, she is now the chair of the board of trustees for America 250. She's the head of this celebration, effectively, a huge event which has been planned since 2018. Rosie Rios still clearly has official government trust and influence based on this. And of course, she is now on the board of Ripple, as you just heard her say. And she said some pretty powerful things there. Whoever controls or whatever technology enables this new financial world will dominate the global financial world. And I think this is why XRP is going to be valuable beyond, I think, many people's comprehension. And this is an important video. I know people are getting a bit down and out with the price action, but don't focus on that. Focus on the bigger picture. For me, XRP is an all or nothing play. Either it finds itself as the apparatus to allow value to move globally, as the bridge currency, as the liquidity that enables that value to change from one form to another, or to flow from one form to another. I believe it could become the sea upon which vessels sail upon, vessels of value. It's not just Rosie Rios that believes this is the future and also believes that this is important. It's actually the President of the United States himself. Let's dive into a couple of clips here.
I want to make crypto great for America. That's the only thing. I don't want to have somebody else have crypto and have China be #1 in the world in crypto. Because in crypto, it's a kind of an industry where basically you're going to have #1 and you're not going to have a #2. And right now we're #1 by a long shot. I want to keep it that way. Many Americans are unaware that behind the scenes, the technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many, many years out of date. You know that. Paul and others are straightening it out, but payments and money transfers are costly and take days or even weeks to clear. Under this bill, the entire ancient system will be eligible for a 21st century upgrade using the state-of-the-art crypto technology. Who would have thought we would have been saying that?
I think the world recognizes this technology for its disruptive and impactful nature. And even the President of the United States, the president of the most powerful nation in the world, is endorsing crypto as being the new rails upon which global finance takes place. And of course, the technologies, the companies and their technologies like Ripple with XRP, which is really at the, or is the cornerstone of Ripple, are going to play a major role in this world that we're moving towards. If you look at America, of course, there's a number of reasons why it's the most powerful nation in the world, but one is because of the technology companies that reside within it and the data that they can generate. They kind of are the dominant force in the Web 2 world. It's why China doesn't allow American companies to operate within their jurisdictions and vice versa. And by the way, we saw the whole fiasco with TikTok. The same thing is going to apply to this industry, Web3. And the important nature of it is going to induce, I believe, and we'll listen to Rosie Rios talk about where she'd be investing. It's going to induce, I believe, a hell of a lot of value to flow into it. I think Ripple, XRP, extremely well centered. The fact that Rosie's even at Ripple, I think really speaks volumes. Let's hear her outline a little bit more from the Asian Banker Conference, which is where these clips were taken from. What's actually going on here? The digital evolution of money and where it's kind of at. And then we'll look at her role at Ripple and play a clip of her talking about what she would do as an investor, where she would focus on. And then we'll sort of recap on what's been going on with Ripple, how they're really well positioned, and how ultimately XRP is at the center of this innovative revolution that they are trying to enable. And I think XRP becomes very valuable as a result of it. That's just my own opinion. Of course, not financial advice. Do your own homework. Let's dive into this other clip of Rosie Rios.
For much of the 20th century, the dollar meant one thing: cash. That I do know about. Physical currency issued by the U.S. Treasury. Cash was reliable, but you couldn't do much with it beyond pay or save. By the 1970s and 80s, you could store dollars as bank deposits, transfer them through cards or systems like ACH and SWIFT. These were the early years of electronic banking, but those early systems were slow, clunky, and relied on intermediaries that had limited access across borders. Fast forward to today, and there's been a steep change. The dollar has entered a new era, largely enabled by blockchain technology, and we've seen the rise of stablecoins, tokenized deposits, and a raft of cryptocurrencies. Blockchain gave us something new: money that can move on open, decentralized networks. And now you'll hear me say this all the time: the train has left the station.
The train has left the station, or is leaving the station, perhaps. And it's not long before, we're yet to really see any kind of a cycle for crypto that involves real world usage and utility. And this is coming, and this is where you want to distinguish cryptocurrency projects. You want to look for the ones that have real world usage and utility, because them just being cryptocurrencies isn't enough now. There needs to be a kind of usage application to them. And I've got a couple more clips that I want to play you of Rosie talking about her role at Ripple, what she's kind of trying to do, and also what she would do as an investor. And then we'll finish things off with just how much of a spectacular year, including the most recent announcement of Citadel Securities actually investing directly in Ripple. Ultimately, Brad himself saying, look, everything we do here is with XRP at the kind of heart of it. There is no Ripple without XRP. I mean, people fail to understand that. Their USP is XRP. And I also think that what Rosie's about to say in regards to her understanding that XRP could become a function of global markets is powerful. This content is important, guys. Let's dive into these two clips.
Crypto has been in the news time and time again, and I just want to share that I am on the board of Ripple. Ripple is XRP. And so when people ask me the question, why did you join the board of Ripple? I joined the board of Ripple because XRP serves a purpose. It's a function that facilitates cross-border payments. It's not some store of value, kind of arbitrary value that is not pegged to anything. This is actually what legitimate financial institutions use, specifically for cross-border payments. So instead of days and dollars, it's seconds and cents. And that is the future, in my opinion. What would I do as an investor? One, I would follow the money. Yes, it is my name on U.S. currency, almost $1.8 trillion. With my name on it in currency in circulation, so no one has made more money than I have. But if I were following the money, where is it going? It's going to the metaverse, it's going to blockchain, it's going to artificial intelligence.
Some interesting clips there. XRP could become a function of market. It could ultimately fundamentally change how certainly the FX market works, the global remittance market works, correspondent banking works, but more broadly how value is interchanged globally. There needs to be this kind of body of water upon which these ships sail. And the way that works right now is very clunky, and you can kind of implement XRP to essentially make the whole process far more efficient. And that's the kind of big value proposition with Ripple, is that XRP is that it sort of becomes exactly that. To finish things off, we looked at this when it came out a few days ago, about a week ago now. Brad Garlinghouse, 2025 without a doubt has been an incredible year for Ripple, and a record year for crypto as a whole. Although we have just a couple of months left, this announcement feels like the cherry on the top of the mountain of good news. Today, we announced a $500 million investment in Ripple from Fortress Investment Group, Citadel Securities, Pantera Capital, Galaxy HQ, Breven Howard, and Marshall Wace at a $40 billion valuation. That makes them one of the most sort of valuable private companies in the world, by the way. It's probably in the top 10. This investment isn't just validation of Ripple's growth strategy and business built on the foundations of XRP, but also a clear bet on what the future of crypto will look like. I'm very proud of what we've built and all that's to come. I think the unfortunate thing is when most people wake up to what XRP is trying to do and what it is and the future that we're moving towards, we'll already be in it. And we want to, unfortunately, when you're early, you have to pay a kind of volatility charge, as it were. You have to pay a kind of being early charge, and often, laughed at as a result of it. But eventually, these things will come to pass. I do believe that. And I think Rosie Rios at the sort of Asian Banker conference really outlined just how important all this is. She's obviously at Ripple and sees its potential in regards to the bigger kind of picture and plan. That's it from me, guys. I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I'll see you in the next.